What? What's up, guys? I'm on take 3. I'm just not on par today with my commentating game. But let's talk about this. First of all, for the third time, this is Black Ops gameplay because, as you saw in the last game, that day that I got that last game from my commentary was, I got like 5 good games that day. I was recording them live instead of going back into theater mode, like which I usually do. So I got like 5 gameplays, so you're going to see a lot of Black Ops. But what I really want to talk about is Halo 4. Because I get the Game Informer every month, and the main cover story this month was Halo 4. And they're actually going to do more installments at Halo 4 because there's so much stuff that they learned from playing it that they said they can't fit it in just one article. So there's going to be more, which is awesome. But I saw a bunch of stuff that was real exciting. So they kind of broke it up into 2 pieces. There's like single player and then multiplayer-ish kind of things. Single player, you start off a couple years after Halo 3, which really isn't exciting, but you actually end up fighting an elite, which is startling if you've played Halo 3 because elites are actually on your side. So the Chief and Cortana are both confused about that, like why an elite would attack them. So that happens, but they're not gonna. They didn't reveal a lot about the single player because I mean, you know, you don't want to ruin the story. I mean, that's a big thing behind single player, and that's why a lot of people don't come back to single player a lot. Like, even though there were challenges for Reach, like, oh, play this mission in single player, I never really did them because it's like I already know what's going to happen. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. But to fix that, oh, this is one of the things I'm excited for. It's called Spartan Ops. And what that is, it's kind of a mixture of special ops, but they add in new things every week, which is, oh, sounds awesome. So what they do is it's kind of like another campaign, but it's co-op. And what they do, this is the awesome part, they give you new missions every week. How cool is that? I mean, so many game developers now, like you see Call of Duty, they pretty much just ship it out to get you to buy their game, and then they're pretty much done with it. They don't do a lot with the game afterwards. I mean, at least Infinity Ward hardly ever patches their game. Black Ops did that, but they're not there for you to stay. They just care about your money first off, and then they're done with you. I mean, like, why put time into a game, you know? But Halo, oh yeah. So they're giving you a new, I don't know if they're giving you, and it's free every week. It's not DLC like you have to download. They're just free. So I don't know if they're going to give us actually like new maps or just new missions on the same maps. Kind of like Mass Effect 3 twisted up a little bit on the objective rounds. There's like 3 different objectives and there's a whole bunch of different maps. I don't know, we'll see about that, but I'm really excited for something like that. And so that's co-op oriented. And then there's multiplayer. They played a lot of multiplayer, the Game Informer guys. And it's going to be a little more Call of Duty oriented, which I was a little apprehensive about at first. But I trust Halo or 343 because they're gonna introduce some aspects, like their more class loadout. Like they tried doing that in Reach, but it was mainly just armor abilities. There wasn't many different classes unless you played what was it, Invasion. But everyone, you know, picked the needle rifle class. Screw you, phone. I'll get to you in a second. And but you're going to get to choose from weapons actually this time, and you get different armor abilities, and you actually get to play with your classes before game, kind of like Call of Duty. They're not picked for you from what I got. And about armor abilities, there's this new one called Forerunner Vision, I think it is, Forerunner something, and you get to see through walls. But I know Bungie and 343 always have a good job at balancing their weapons. There's no balance issues. So I'm sure they might limit it kind of like Hunter mode in Mass Effect 3. That would be perfect. Hunter mode, if you see in Mass Effect 3 with the new DLC that came out, it really screws up your HUD. Like there's a lot of crap on your HUD, so it's a little more difficult to see, and you can only see people through walls and smoke. in Mass Effect 3 about 30 meters, so it's not like you can just see everyone on the map always. And I think that'll prevent a little less camping. Not that there's a lot of camping in Reach, but just in case there is, since this is a little more Call of Duty oriented, more people might come from Call of Duty if they get bored. And this way it'll kind of prevent those Call of Duty campers, because you know, they do that. And it's going to be all Spartans. There's going to be no elites playable from what they saw online. Oh, weapon drops. I forgot about this. Weapon drops. I forgot about this in my other takes. It's going to be, weapon drops are going to be a little different. Instead of them spawning in the same place at a specific time every time, they're going to be random drops around the map. So it's not going to be everyone just like camping on one side of the map just to get better position. It'll be hard for new people to get, oriented to the game. Because I know, like, Woody talks about Halo all the time, but he never knows what he's talking about. Because it's really hard to get into, no offense, Woody, but it's hard to get into a game like Halo if you don't know, or someone have someone to teach you. Because Halo is a hard game to get into. Call of Duty you can just jump into and do fairly well if you're good on the sticks. But just Halo, you need to like know where things spawn and stuff. So that's going to be a little randomized. It's going to be more about gun skill to get maps instead of who gets there first and can camp the spawns a little better. Camp the spawns of the weapons. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be worked out just fine. Oh, another thing about armor abilities. Sprint. Everyone gets sprint. There is no sprint armor ability. Everyone just gets it automatically. And then there's like I said, there's the Forerunner version. There's they're bringing back camo, jetpack, and hologram from what they saw. So no armor lock, which that makes me. I don't know if that's true, but they didn't talk about it, meaning that there's a good chance that it's not in there. And if so, that just sounds awesome. And then they said something that they couldn't play with while they were there was something that was grayed out, was modifications. So we'll see what that does. And I'm sure the starting out weapon sounds bad because it's going to be like, oh, who has the best gun? But I'm sure they're just going to limit it to the BR, the DMR, and like the assault rifle and carbine, like main starter weapons. Like there's a little more versatility, but it's pretty much the same starter weapons. No one can just start with like a rocket launcher or anything like that, or a sniper rifle. Those will be dropped weapons. Then there's that's it. I forget if I talked about this take about Regicide, the new game type, real quick. It's kind of like Juggernaut and Free For All together. The king gets bounty as he kills more people. Sorry, I ran out of time, but the other takes I went too fast because I talked too fast because I'm excited. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed.